Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, live stream on Facebook. Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sanson, Stephanie Phillips with another episode of Veterans in Politics. Today we have David Gomez, candidate for Clark County School Board Trustee, District Letter D for, what's the D for? David.
There
David.
we go. Very good.
D for David. But before we get to Mr. Gomez, Ms. Phillips.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And thank you to our sponsors. We have Dr. Ari Nagy. He's running for Congressional District 3. His website is nagyforcongress.com. And that's FOR, nagyforcongress.com. We also have Henderson's mayor, Michelle Romero. She's running for re-election. Her website is votemichelleromero.com, votemichelleromero.com. We also have Cody K. Whipple. He's running for Congressional District 4. His website is codykforcongress.com, and that's the number 4, codykforcongress.com. We also have Dave Marlin. He's running for Las Vegas City Council, Ward 6. His website is daveforvegas.com, and that's FOR, daveforvegas.com. We also have Judge Jennifer Schwartz. She is running for re-election for Department 17. Her website is judgeschwartz.com, judgeschwartz.com. And we have George Harris. He is running for Senate District 8. His website is votegeorgeharris.com, votegeorgeharris.com. And we also have Tim Ross over at the North Las Vegas Hangars Association. If you would like to know more about what they do, get on his website. It is VGTHOG.org, VGTHOG.org. And our newest sponsor is Trent Richards. He's running for Justice Court in Henderson, Department 4, and his website is trentforjudge.com, and that's the number 4, trentforjudge.com. We also, don't forget to grab Steve's book, How to Navigate Nevada's Family Court System. You can get a copy on Amazon. It is $14.99. This is a self-help book for those who don't have an attorney and can't afford one going through family court. And this will help you navigate that system. We also have a merch store. It's VIPImerch.com, VIPImerch.com. There's all kinds of fun things for you to check out there. And we are wearing Michael Murphy's t-shirts.
Michael Murphy.
He is our endorsed candidate. He is running for public administrator. So be sure to mark your ballots for Michael Murphy. And everyone should have their ballots actually right now. Early voting starts on the 23rd. So please go out and vote in the primary. The primary election is June 9th. And for my rant, did I forget anything on the voting or anything? I got everybody's sign. I want to mention this one more time because we kind of went through this last week when we did our recap of the Republican convention, but we have bylaws in place for a reason at the state, at the Central Committee level. And I think it's important that the state also follow their bylaws. When all of those names, 74 of them, I believe, they added to the Clark County Central Committee list. Those are being audited, looked at. A lot of those names, they don't even know where they came from. So I think those are going to be rejected for the most part. And I think that is proper because it's at the Clark County Central Committee's sole discretion to add those names. Plus, they weren't given in the appropriate amount of time. But I just want to say rules, bylaws, policy, whatever that is, those are in place for a reason. And just because you're from the state doesn't mean that you don't have to follow the rules or you just make it up as you go along. And I really think that is important. You guys are supposed to be setting the standard and everyone else follows. But what you have done as far as those names and adding those in and not following your own bylaws, I think that is disgraceful. So let's all follow the rules and let's do it the right way.
Are you done?
Well, I just want to remind everybody, Saturday, early voting starts. I know Ms. Phillips just said it, but it goes for Saturday and then for another 2 weeks. So make sure you go to veteransinpolitics.org and check on the endorsement to see who we endorse, or you could just look at your social media site and find out who we endorse. Or if you don't know who to vote for and you're stuck on somebody, or you're second guessing yourself and you want answers, just give myself or Ms. Phillips a call. She's at 702-339-6436.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at 702. I remember that just in case I get arrested.
It's pretty good. Yeah, false charges.
With false charges. And Michael McDonald, by the way, you have not returned my text message. You not returned my text message.
Or mine.
And I've texted you a while ago. So you're poor in your communication skills. And let me tell you, if you know me, Mike, it's only going to get worse. So before it gets better, just to let you know. And my phone number is 702-283-8088, just in case. But and
just in case he didn't have it.
just in case he didn't have it. And if anybody wants to call to help, so I can help them fill out their ballots as well. And I want to remind folks out there that we do run a consultant firm, VIPI Consultant. And if you need help with your candidacy, especially moving into the general election, you probably want to call us. And if you want to sponsor or talk show, because a lot of these are probably going to be coming down. If you want to sponsor a talk show, give Stephanie Phillips a call at 702-339-6436. And she'll let you know how to sponsor the talk show. You could go for a month, or you could go all the way to November 9th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, with that said, we have David Gomez. Mr. Gomez, how you doing today? ¿Qué pasó?
How you doing?
¿Qué pasó?
Thanks for coming on such short notice. That was great. We had a cancellation, and here you are.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the sponsors that actually sponsor this to make this possible, to make this happen.
Absolutely.
Without them, this wouldn't even be possible.
That's right. Well, it'd be possible. It'd just be coming out of our pocket.
Yeah, I don't think that's feasible.
And we don't like to come out of pocket.
Oh, I can see that.
Because that 7-Eleven is looking real good on Thursdays.
Oh, with those 2 hot dogs for $3?
Could you give us a bio?
Well, okay. My name is David Gomez. I'm a father of 7 children.
Woo!
Yeah. I guess we didn't have color TV back then.
What are the ages? Because that's a lot of a lot of work.
And those are yours.
Yeah. Well, what?
Oh, I mean, you didn't
Yeah,
adopt,
of course.
You didn't adopt, you didn't foster.
What do you know that I don't know?
Well, sometimes there's blended families that are,
No, I didn't adopt.
Those are
or
all
foster.
bio.
Yes, they're bio. So
Okay.
I have Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead,
Good
Mr.
night,
Gomez.
folks. We'll see you next week. No,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just kidding.
gonna help me on
Mr.
this one.
Gomez.
No, we're good. My oldest son
Me and
is.
David go back for years, huh, David?
Yeah, we do. My oldest son is 30 years old. He's a retired. He's a volunteer retired Marine, and he's going to the Navy now for 16 years. He wants to stay in. Then my second son, he is 25 years old. It's strange. A lot of my kids were born on special days, but he was born on Pearl Harbor Day.
Wow.
Then my youngest adult son is 22 years old. He ran for county commissioner against William McCurdy, and that was in 2024, I believe it was.
I remember that.
Yeah, and he astoundingly pulled off 33,000 votes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He did great. I remember
for-
when he was campaigning.
Yeah, he was doing a good job.
Mhm.
I'm proud of him. Then I have my 15-year-old, and he goes to Rancho High School. And then I have,
Does he have Ruben Da Silva as a teacher?
I don't know.
Oh. You don't know?
No, well,
I bet
he's
you
always
he will.
he's always changing up things. Like he'll say, okay, I want to do a more advanced class. He tries to make challenges himself.
Rancho's a magnet school, right?
Yeah, it is. It's aviation, medical, and something else. I can't remember exactly the other one they added
And they
to
have
it.
an ROTC program.
Yes, they do. They have an Air Force. And that's where my 15-year-old is planning to do. He's actually planning on signing a waiver and going in at 17. So he wants to go in early because he's going to graduate early.
Well, you need to sign him off for mom.
Yeah, we're going to sign him off.
Okay.
We already talked to him and a recruiter. Then we have my 12-year-old daughter my 11-year-old daughter, and my 5-year-old son.
So all your children went through the Clark County School District?
Yes, they did.
No wonder you're so passionate about it.
Well, of course, because I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen what has happened over the course of time. I've seen when people, principals have asked me to leave when I've confronted them on situations like playing music that wasn't appropriate for kids to hear at elementary school. A song by Blackstreet called "Take Me There, Take Me to That Special Place That Only Me and You Know," and that's not a song you would.
Is that like a cave or something?
I don't know, but those are the lyrics in the song, and I actually addressed it. And then that's when Marzette Lewis found me and said, "Well, you're coming with me, buddy. We're gonna fight for the good fight, and we're gonna make sure it gets done."
Were you born and raised here?
I was born and I was raised everywhere. So I had to do a lot of home. No, seriously. Being the son of Carpinteria, one of them, it was one of those things where you travel a lot because they're building new stores. And then you have to make sure that.
Oh, what was your dad? What did he do?
He was the owner of Carpinteria. He's one of the partner owners.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you come from money then, huh?
No, they come from money.
You got 7 kids. Come on now.
Yeah. So the genie that's on the building is a replica of my Uncle Ted, who passed away. But it's always been him, and the song, the old song.
I remember Carpinteria, the commercials. Yeah.
Carpinteria. I sing
That's
horrible.
so great.
Yeah,
I love it.
but it was that, and I used to crawl under the carpets and almost get smashed. But yeah, I was getting in my own trouble there. But doing homeschool was a lot easier. Moving from Pennsylvania, then going to Arizona, then Texas, and then Florida, then California. They had multiple stores in California. And back in the 80s, they were making somewhere close to like 300 million every 6 months, something ridiculous. And then
How much million?
300 million.
300 million.
Yeah. It was reported in the Los Angeles Times where they were showing that they were making that kind of money because it was multiple stores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I went to school for law and I decided, I didn't want to be a lawyer, but I finished school for that and then became the in-house legal for my father's business.
Oh.
And then I opened up a nonprofit, Nevada Peace Alliance, because I was with Wake Up West Side Action Alliance Corp with Marzette Lewis for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And she passed away, God rest her soul. But when we decided that Charles I. West Prep Elementary was one of the schools we were going to target in getting built because it's a K-12 school, that's where my kids went. And I didn't like the portables because there was no exit. There was no way to get out those portables. There's no fire extinguishers in there. There's no fire system. There's nothing. So they're like Matchbox. If they light up, they're done, Then the railing systems on the portables where they walk up, it would get hot, during summer, and the kids would burn their hands and things would happen. But I fought. We got it done, and I made sure it got done. And they told me when pigs fly, and I said, well, I guess we're going to see some flying pigs, I guess, one day. Mm-hmm. And we got the school. So Charles I. West Prep Elementary was built because it started with Marzette Lewis and a lot of advocates on the black side of the black community on the west side of Las Vegas. And they were always pushed back and told no. And I said, I can continue this fight. Don't worry. We're gonna get it done. And we got it done. That's
great.
Gratefully. I'm a 7th degree black belt in martial arts, Shotokan Kempo. I created my own martial arts system.
So you're a weapon then, right?
No, I'm not a weapon. I'm a teddy bear.
So many things I didn't know about you, David. I love it. Go ahead.
Teddy bear, big old teddy bear.
Until you piss them off.
No.
Look out!
I gotta.
Look out, Scooby.
I think my tongue is more dangerous than anything else.
Wow.
Because I know how to.
I know what is this type of show?
Yeah. I know how to recite things and I know how to look up information and regurgitate it back out and let them know that truth is always the measure in which we need to stick by with facts. And sometimes people don't like to hear the truth, and it's okay though. But it's just we all agree to disagree at times, and sometimes we just need to just disagree. Period. It's just all the time with some measures. But education has been one of my longest passion. Doing martial arts and also becoming a zoning commissioner for CCSD. I started in 2014. I believe I finished in 2019. And it's 2 school years every year. So I was serving both of those times with zoning. And then I became the inaugurated bridge commissioner for Clark County School District to bridge the gaps. So I want to help parents figure out how to navigate through the system. Staff, I do investigative tories for multiple bus drivers who have been wrongfully accused of just driving over a speed hump the wrong way, or hitting the brakes a little too hard when it was a safety issue. And some kids actually might have, fell out of their seats because they were behaving incorrectly in the school bus when they're being told to sit down, sit down, sit down. So I learned what the governing policies were. I learned what the collective bargaining agreement was so that I can help them and figure out. But I know a lot of unions don't like that because it's a right to work state. And they say, well, because we're a right to work state, you shouldn't be defending people for free. That's why we're here. And I'm like, well, if they don't have the means, why are we going to subject them to not help? Why are we going to tell them you cannot be helped if something is wrong? Or if you're in a situation where you need some serious information on how to navigate out of this, they're being told, no, you have to choose us or there's no way out of this. And I don't think that's fair. To bus drivers and certain people that are on set incomes. Like we were at a board meeting on Monday and we heard that a substitute teacher only makes $12 an hour, which is ridiculous. I mean, In-N-Out makes more than that. But the rest of my bio, besides that, I just have a passion for fighting. I own a business. I own multiple business partnerships in multiple businesses.
What type of business?
Well, I got a partnership in a smoke shop and a liquor store, esthetician business, because I help fund some of it. I don't know too much about estheticians, but they gave me my partnership. I make sure that my partnerships are always under 5%, so that I'm not causing any kind of problems. There's a lot of different things that happen. And then I own the legal document preparation office where we do immigration, taxes, preparation of documents, and then also my wife, she's a paralegal, so she handles a lot of different things. So I've been married 2 times. First marriage was, let me see, I think it was about 24 years or 22 years. I'm not sure. We couldn't see eye to eye. It was just a misunderstanding on so many levels because we got married we got together we're high school sweethearts, and sometimes some people like to fly the coop, and I just say, okay, well, to each his own. I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to say, if that's your preference, then, we still have children together and we got to make this work for them. And that's what's important. And I would like to see a lot of parents do that, but sometimes it doesn't always turn out that way.
So you've been in town for 27 years?
No, I've been in town on and off for about 35, 36 years. Mm-hmm. Because of the business, I had to go to different states, I had to fly around, I had to do a lot of different things. And then I just decided to stay put.
And you've been an activist for how long?
Oh, man.
Forever.
Ever since I had my first kid. And I figured out that what they were doing was inconsistent with the law, inconsistent with education, inconsistent with what education is really all about. My child should be at school to learn, not to be indoctrinated with information that has nothing to do, that's going to get him ready to exit for a career. Getting ready to exit for a career is something we should all focus on. I'm pretty sure that everybody, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, every parent would want that for their child, to be ready to exit. And being ready to exit is a very important thing. Because if we don't give them the right tools and we just tell them, hey, you can do this and you can run around with a flag in your hand all day, and that's not a career option. I mean, there's some things that just don't make sense. And that's why I became an activist. And
a lot of your activism is surrounded in education, correct?
It's all surrounded in education. Mm-hmm. When I developed Nevada Peace Alliance, it was peace actually doesn't stand for peace. 1970s, we're going to hang out at Woodstock. It actually stands for parent empowerment and community empowerment. So I want to empower the community and the parents with information, whether it's legal information that's publicly ready for them, and show them how to look up these things, show them how to find the information and how to navigate through it. to help, just like your book, the same thing. You're trying to help people figure out how to navigate through our family court system where there has never been a navigator for that. It's just do as we say, and that's just the way it is. And if you don't like it, take a hike. And that's not how it is. That's not how our system was developed. America was not developed on the measures of, a socialist behavior or mentality. I do what I want to do and how I want to do it. But it's always been, the freedom. It's always been about Constitution. It's always been based off of the Bible. They wrote most of our information with the same type of verbiage or wording that they used in the Bible. I'm not saying that everybody has to pick up a Bible and follow it just because I love Jesus and I follow Jesus. It just means that, there was a structure that gave people morale. And it was a big morale system at one point where people looked at things and say, no, we fight for each other. We stand up for each other. And now it's just like so divide and conquer that it's just sickening to the heart that now they're attacking our education system. And they're trying to divide us through the education by indoctrinating children in the wrong way when the education has a very simple word, education.
Mm-hmm.
And you got 7 children you put through the Clark County School District, right?
Well, the 5-year-old hasn't gone through yet, so. And neither has the 11th or 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old, but yes, they're all.
Oh, those are school.
Yeah, they're still in school. No, they're still in Clark County School District. They just haven't went through as in completed.
Oh,
okay.
That's what I mean.
But they're in it. So you see, from how your older ones went through and the changes to now when your younger kids are in the district. What does that look like from what it used to be years ago to what it is now? I mean, it sounds like a total disaster.
Well, we have funding for a lot of things, and funding just kind of keep reappearing out of nowhere, like weighted funding for like ELL. Okay, I get it. We need to help ELL students, and that's important because we have to catch them up and get them ready to exit as well and have career readiness. But then they're doing a lot of IEPs. So now because you can't pronounce a word right, now you have an IEP, individual education plan. And now when you have this IEP, now you have to go to a special class, you got to go to speech therapy, or maybe there's a learning disability, which some students do have because all students learn at a different level. Mm-hmm. But because they want now to put all kids in the IEP system, that is money. Because, now we got a kid with a speech impediment, or we have a kid with a learning disability, or we have a kid with X, Y, and Z. And I don't want to call a lot of things out because it's just, sometimes it could be hurtful because some families are still going through it. They're hurting behind some of the things that are happening and has happened. But watching from my oldest son to now, I have watched the system water itself down with political handshakes, pats on the shoulders, things that just don't make sense at times because it's like, well, we want you to be involved, but we don't want you here. It's kind of like they put all these red tape up and so that you can't get in. Some parents have maybe some issues that might prevent them from volunteering. And they're saying, well, even though you're a parent, you can just stand outside and be involved from the curb or be involved in when we have parent-teacher night. Some parents want to be involved, and education has kind of dwindled down.
How many boards have you sat on?
Boards. Let's see. I sat on the commission board for AZAC. I sit on.
What's that, AZAC?
AZAC is Attendance Zoning Advisory Commission. So what happened was the trustees couldn't they couldn't juggle all this information and be able to do the zonings and zone changes and things like that for schools. So they actually implemented a rule and regulation that they were going to bring in volunteers that were based off of, parents, community members, whatever the case might be, because a trustee can appoint them. Once they get appointed, then they go in and they figure out the demographics. They figure out what transportation is going to cost. They figure out what is going to happen when you decide to draw a line from let's give a bad example here from, let's say, Rancho High School on Searless and draw a line straight down Searless, and everybody to the south side of that street is no longer going to go there. And everybody on the north side of the street is going to go there, which didn't happen.
The zoning crap.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah. And then there's always, it was always a fight in there because nobody really knew what was going on. It was strange to watch from the inside as a board member to see how people really don't know what's going on. You got directors sitting in front of you. You got people that are directors of transportation, directors of zoning, directors of GIS, directors of engineering, all these people sitting in front of you. It's all staff. And transportation doesn't know what zoning is doing, and zoning doesn't know if transportation's been informed, and GIS is like, hey, I don't know if
What's
they
GIS?
The maps.
Oh, okay.
Maps, the map people. So and they would say, well, did you get the map? No, it was always strange to watch. And so I was like, oh geez, man, when are we going to fix this system? You know? And I can't blame the volunteers because they volunteered. I mean, everybody up there was a volunteer and they were doing the best they can with what they had. But as a volunteer, they didn't understand really what was going on the other side, which was staff. They're like, okay, do we know what's happening? Do we know how this is happening? And that's one of the boards I sat on.
What were the other ones?
For West Side Action Alliance Corp with Marzette Lewis, I was the president of her organization, and that was to fight for mainly Blacks in the west side of Las Vegas because of the Prime 6 and 6th grade centers that happened so long ago when they were busing all the kids out. And they were upset because they rightfully had a reason to be upset because when the bond money came in, there was no Northwest. There was no North. There was no Southwest. There was not a lot of these areas that we see now with these schools, and that money was supposed to be allocated to repair and fix these old, dilapidated, or fallen apart schools. I mean, and they did a horrible job at doing that. So that's what West Side Action Alliance Corps came in, and a lot of people called Marzette Lewis controversial because they said she was a woman that just kind of did things off of the chart. You know, one day she put a toilet on the dais and said, "This is what you're doing in education," and so you're flushing it down the toilet.
Nothing like a visual.
Nothing like I don't know where she got that little toilet from.
People really get it when you do a visual like that, so that's good.
And then she also said that, you know, this is what's happening to Black students, and she brought like a little coffin in with a black doll in it, you know. And she was telling them, like, this is what you're doing to us, you know. And so, you know, when that bond money eventually came through for the repairs and rebuilding the schools, they just kind of allocated the money not correctly from my point of view.
Any other boards?
The Bridge Commission with CCSD, and that isn't a full board yet. It's just we have multiple people in it, but we're just navigating through how we can inform people and what level without crossing the lines of, you got to make sure you don't violate FERPA. You got to make sure you don't violate certain laws. You got to make sure that things are in alliance with the laws, and then you got to make sure that those don't conflict with what it is that you're doing. Even though you're trying to help, sometimes people can turn around and say, well, in a legal sense, this what happened and this is what you did. And even though you were helping, you can still be liable for certain things.
Is that it? Is that it with the boards?
And then let's see, I sat on the board of our company, Carpeteria. You know, I sat on that board for multiple years, where we made decisions and financial decisions with such a large budget. And we did multiple things.
$300 million every 6 months is a large budget.
Yeah, it was a large budget.
I wish I had that budget.
I do too.
I'm getting somewhere with the.
Okay,
these
all
line
right,
of
you
questions.
get there, and then I'm gonna come back to the budget thing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
How many times you ran for office?
Well, I ran for office 2 times prior to this. I was misled by some people. They told me, hey, you need this person to help you. You need this person to help you. And then they were just asking me to spend money. Here, I need $1,000 for this. Hey, I need $2,000 to sit down and talk to you. I'm like, oh, serious? No, I kid you not. I'm not lying. I am not lying. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to do this. And then they're just like too focus driven on other things that they couldn't pay attention to.
And what were these boards? I mean, these seats you ran for?
I ran for Senate District 2 against Edgar Flores.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure Edgar wasn't as intimidated by me that he is right now with this guy, Isaac Barone, that he's fighting against, because I see nothing but signs and all kind of lit coming through the mail like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Then I ran against Olivia Diaz, city councilwoman, which is Ward 3. And the reason I ran is because I saw there was some real inconsistencies in my area that just didn't make sense.
Gotcha.
And I ran against her. And at that time, I didn't win those elections. The vote was split between me and Melissa Clary, I believe her name was. Yes. And then also when I ran for Senate, the vote was split between me, Leo Henderson, and Peter Pellegrino.
What's your nationality?
Everything.
Go ahead.
Good answer.
I can open it up and read it to you if you want me to read it to you.
What's the top three? How about that?
Well, I'm Black because my mom was Black. She was African American. Her family comes from Louisiana, Texas, and they're Shoshone tribe too.
So you have Native American?
Yeah, partial. Not enough to shake a leg with it. You couldn't get nothing out that pocket, but. And then I'm also Hispanic, but Yucatan Hispanic. My father was from Yucatan. Yucatan, Mexico.
Okay, Mexico.
They're very indigenous people, so they wear a lot of clothes that are very kind of, I would say, made by hand. Not something that we go to a store like Ross or somewhere to buy. They actually make their own clothes, which is very similar to like Peruvian type of culture, things like that. And I'm part Peruvian too, and Spaniard, and Nigerian, and Congo, and Batu's people. So.
Okay.
And I'm Syriac Jew.
So Mr. Gomez, it sounds like you're very, very qualified to be a school board trustee.
I would hope so.
And endorsed by
and he's endorsed by both Nevada Veterans Association and Veterans in Politics International. But with that said, Mr. Gomez, why do you think that you haven't gained a seat yet?
Because I focus more
You're keeping the black man down.
Oh man, Lord. I focus more on education. So yes, I can do policy. I've done legislative lobbying for free for Nevada Peace Alliance, but focusing more on education, a lot of those things don't have nothing to do with the background I built for myself. And I can understand where people look at it and says, well, he's an education guy. He's been 27 years volunteering with all these different things, with the school district, helping parents, helping staff, helping teachers, and doing whatever he can. I believe that those were not the seats that I was supposed to sit in, because I'm glad that I got my feet wet, because, understanding how it works and seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly of it, and seeing how people mislead you, misguide you, because I'm a trusting person. I trust everybody. You gotta
trust nobody.
Well, unfortunately, I trust everybody. And they gotta prove without reasonable doubt, that they can be the opposite of my trust. And I try to be that person that opens up and say, okay, let's see what's going on. And I trust what you're telling me, and let's figure out where the problem is. And even with helping others. I know some people look and they say, oh, he's very assertive. Well, that's because, being in martial arts and all these different things, you tend to be, when you're a 7th degree master and you're Shisha dad and you're talking to students, you're like, Hajime, you're telling them to fight, or you're saying, mate or whatever, whatever the case is. And you got to say it with a type of authority. And that's, I guess, over the years, you kind of build that, and some people just kind of take offense to it and they're afraid of it. And I'm like, no, I don't mean nothing by it. It's just that doing martial arts for so many years and discipline, it just kind of does that to me.
Let's go back to the budget thing, since you have experience with that. And we were talking earlier today about the budget that you were looking at for CCSD.
Yes.
And different things and things that you had brought to their attention. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, on Monday, I attend just about, I'm going to say about 85% of board meetings. So I go to just about every one and I speak on topics and subjects. And this past meeting was about finalizing and approving the budget. Well, the budget was pulling away from ELL fund, which is English language learners, and what they explained, which did not explain inside of the document they proposed and showed, that they're taking away $25 and putting it to the general fund. They're taking it away and putting it there to help allocate some kind of payroll issue, which I don't completely understand yet. The overall budget is 4.5%. You know, when they end at the end of the budget, they're also looking at different types of allocation of funds and how to get them. Like for instance, they want to do safe. I forgot the acronym or whatever the words they were using. They were using something with safety zones in schools, and they're going to enforce that citations are given out to everyone that's an offender, obviously. And we do need to enforce that because people do U-turns in school zones, which they figured out that it's going to be.
They just doubled the fine, or
yeah, I believe they did.
The fine to make an illegal U-turn in a school zone or speed at a school zone.
Parents do it every day. I'm standing out at Roy Martin, and I stand out there with my bullhorn, and I tell parents, please don't do that. Don't do that. Be mindful. Be conscientious. These are children. You know, they do foolish things. They'll run in front of a car, or you know, whatever the case might be. They don't make wise decisions, and we have to be the people that make good decisions for them. But their funding, they're talking about bringing in $15 million with that. Then they were also talking about rifting and taking, because of the budget shortfalls. And
sorry, is the $15 million coming from the citation?
The citations. That's what they projected. That was in the projections.
It's a lot of citations.
Yeah, per year. Yeah, that's a lot of citations. But then they're also talking about rifting, reduction of force. So they're talking about letting teachers go. I mean, I don't understand that. Support staff.
They need more teachers, don't they?
Yes, and
there's staff shortages all over in high schools and different schools. And ESEA, which is the support staff union, was there on Monday. They were fighting for their support staff to make sure that this happens. They're trying to figure out, because they said, okay, well, so let's say we have low enrollment at one school. Let's say the school can hold 1,200 students and we have only 400 students there. Well, if you figure out the numbers of maybe, let's say 25 students per teacher, you know, if it's not special ed, because special ed, sometimes you need 2 teachers in there. You have to have two staff members in there, whether it's a teacher, support staff, or whatever the case might be, however the district sees fit. When they're talking about removing these teachers, they're surplusing them, and where they're going to put them, I don't know. Because if enrollment projections keep dropping, because charter schools is the second largest school district in our state as of now, and they're just not figuring out what charter schools are doing that we need to do. You know, it's like you're not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like when I did martial arts, you know, if I wanted to win and if I wanted to be great and I wanted to be good, I figured out what the guy that was good doing, and then I mastered it and I made it look better when I did it, you know, and then I became the master of that particular move or their particular fighting style. But it doesn't seem like they're going in that direction. And then now the budget is in a very big shortfall. So I have to ended up paying for, I think, 2 or 3 more schools. They're going to build, I think we're going to have something close to maybe $2 billion left out of $15 billion that was there. But it's saddening because when you have a $15 billion budget, and this budget is supposed to help build schools. Now, I'm going to give you this example, which is, it's true, but I hate that it happens. Let's say that Derek Stevens shows up at Roy Martin and says, hey, you guys, I'm going to build your tennis court for you. I'm going to pay for everything. I'm even going to put a ball shooter in there that you guys don't normally have that helps with that. And they're like, okay, well, go ahead and do it. And the school is an in-kind gift to the school. And when they do it, if the school has already put an application into the bond oversight committee or whoever for that particular item or whatever the case might be, they'll have it in the application status and they won't remove it, even though somebody just fixed it for them. So when the time comes for that repair to happen on that tennis court, they're going to go in there. They're going to call the school. Hey, we have this up now. We have the application ready. We have the guys ready. We have the team ready. We have people ready, the construction guys. And they're going to come in and bulldoze that brand new thing out and put another one in on top of it, only because it's already in the status of application. You call that managing money correctly? Oh my gosh. They don't remove it. They don't go and say, hey, we need to remove this from here, from this application status, and we're not going to pay for it because we have an in-kind gift that took care of it for us. But when you're doing things like that, I mean, that's not fiscally responsible.
Common sense.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
I would think
common
so.
sense has gone out the window when it comes to.
Well, it's
A
still
lot
it's
of
a word
things.
that we learn in education, and somehow they missed that word somewhere. I don't know if they just misplaced it out of the Webster's dictionary, the Merriam's dictionary, or whatever dictionary they pulled it out of. They just must have extracted it and said, we don't need that no more.
Can you tell people where District D is? Because everyone has their ballots now. They're getting ready to vote. So tell people where those boundaries are so they know if you're in their district.
So District D kind of runs all the way up to Hollywood, and it comes partially down Charleston, and then it runs across Eastern, or I think Sahara. I'm sorry, Sahara. And then it cuts across Eastern because the school next to the DMV is in that district. Then it goes down into an overlap into District C, partially in the west side of Las Vegas, which is technically not the west side of Las Vegas. It goes all the way to, believe it's Lake Mead, and then it comes back over to Washington, going back down around. So it's kind of like, almost like the shape of Texas.
Oh my wow.
So we're this time went by real quick.
Wait, because I have more questions. Hold on.
We got Michelle
have
outside.
time.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
When the district, when they voted for masks, vaccines, all that during COVID, when all these books that are kind of pornographic and, you know, talk about all this nonsense that kids don't need to be, you know, involved with, what are your, and boys and girls sports and all that, rapid fire, where you stand on those so parents know what you feel about those?
I stand on boys belong in boys' bathrooms, girls belong in girls' bathrooms, boys belong in boys' sports, and girls belong in girls' sports. I believe I was informed last time I got my endorsement about Title IX. I went and did my research, and Title IX has been revised since Biden. He did it once, and then Donald Trump did it again. He revised it. And I stand on it because, you know, it's about sex. You're either male or female. Gender is a fact. I'm sorry. It is a fact. And I know people are going to disagree with me, but that doesn't mean that I can't care for you as a person, you know, just because I believe that gender is a fact. It's not something that you can, or sex is a fact. It's not something you can come and say, now I have a new gender and this is what it is. That doesn't work that way. I stand with keeping education. I don't feel that, you know, doing those type of things where we're involving boys and girls sports, things like that, and like some kind of co-ed type of things, it's going to work because overall men are, you know, generally more stronger than women. I mean, physically, muscular. I mean,
Again, common sense.
Yeah, it goes back to that. So
What about the books and the curriculum?
the books that has nothing to do with education. Telling me an ideology has nothing to do with education. So if you want to tell me about sex, you know, we learned sex ed when we were in high school. I mean, and it was very graphic with the instruments that they had with contraceptives and different things like that. We watched videos and it was kind of weird, but you know, it's something that you got to sign off for. And I believe that parents didn't sign off for that. They didn't sign off for their child in elementary to watch a pornographic book or to see how, you know, boys and girls interact with each other, and they use children in it to make it look more friendly, which is not okay.
Or
because
same sex,
oral
all
sex,
this.
all those different types of sexual issues.
Okay, COVID vaccine, masks, all that.
Well,
stuff.
according to the reports, you know, they found out that Fauci was lying. I think that was his name, Dr. Fauci, whatever. He was lying, and he fabricated some stuff, and he made things look like it was. And we all knew this because COVID's been around. It's in medical books, and I have a medical book from 1989, and it has all the doctors in it that signed off, and it says, yes, it is a virus, but it's a common cold, you know, that has been developed into something else. And how did it get developed into something else? I have my own suspicions about that. Those mask mandates and all that stuff was not appropriate and was not needed. That was just a way to see how they can control population and how they can get people to follow what they say and what they want them to do at that moment. And there was a lot of pushback, and I'm grateful to the Americans that stood up and said, no more. This is enough. We're not gonna take your baloney and we're not gonna shove it down our throats. We're gonna shove it back down your throats and say, no, this is not for us, because we understand. And there's a lot of educated people, that said no, and that's how it was. And as far as mask mandates, I wouldn't vote for no mask mandate. I would say no. I wouldn't vote for no pornographic book inside of a library. I'll say, no, that's not appropriate. What does that have to do with education? I mean, we're here to educate children. We're here to help all walks of life, wherever they come from, help their children succeed. And it's not about, Republican or Democrat. It's about helping everyone when it comes to children. When it's children are not politically inclined. We are there to help them, and we help them, their families, so that they can be proud of their student when they walk across that graduation stage going to a career that's ready for them. And they're ready for it, ready to exit.
Good job. I agree.
I have all the time in the world. Let's do it.
Well, we have the next guest.
We have the next guest.
Right. Well, I'll give you $10. Tell them to go buy some Kool-Aid. No, I'm just kidding.
Kool-Aid. But I didn't even get any of my real questions out. I had like 25 of them.
He had a really long bio.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But we want to.
I didn't want to say the bio. It's not my fault. It's his fault.
It was a good bio. It's a good bio. All your bio shows is that you're ready for the job on day one. Mm-hmm. That's what it shows. Mm-hmm. But Mark is going to zoom in on you, and you can say whatever. If you have an event, if you have a website, or vote for me, or whatever you want to say.
Okay.
Please donate to me.
Yeah, I would like people to donate to me. You can actually go to my website. It's d-gomez for trustee.com. And on there, you can go to my donate page. You can donate $1. It doesn't matter. You can donate $99 if you don't want to be seen under my reporting, or you can donate as much as the law allows you to. I'm here for education. I'm here for the parents. I'm here for the students. I'm here for the staff. I'm here for everybody that is involved in education. We need to bring education back to common sense, as Ms. Phillips says. We need to help people understand that common sense is the ground in which makes our morale system better, so that we can make sound and better decisions. I would love for everybody to vote for me, but I know people are going to disagree with me, and I can accept that. And I can accept that maybe some of the gender identity people might not like me, but that doesn't change the fact that if you do have a son, a child, or whatever the case might be, I'm there to fight for you. I'm there to show that my fight for you is about your child. It's about them succeeding. And I would hope that people would vote for me, and that would give me the opportunity to show them that we can do more in education than just sit up there and just vote on every single policy that comes across the board without reading nothing. That it needs to make sense. And it needs to make sense to the families, the staff, and everyone, especially when it comes to the budget, and make things better for everyone in Nevada, because our state depends on it. And the moment you decide that you're going to keep pushing a person in through the door that just keeps voting on every single item without reading it, we're never going to make it. We're going to collapse. And when we collapse, you're going to put a lot of people out of jobs. You're going to put support staff out of jobs, teachers out of jobs, and that's not what we're here to do. We're here to make Nevada great, and we're a battle-born state, and we got to stand on those grounds and be battle-born and be American and stand for the right thing and for everyone.
You have a website?
Yes, it was d-gomez4trustee.com. You can donate there. You can also go read some of my other bios. It's got more stuff on there about my growing up, my early childhood. So,
well, Mr. Gomez, I want to thank you for coming on the program.
I want to thank you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Folks, that's David Gomez, candidate for Clark County School Board Trustee, District D. He's been endorsed by both Veterans in Politics International, Nevada Veterans Association, and we trust him to do the job. And if you listen to his bio, it sounds like he could do the job on day one. I mean, he doesn't have to do any on-the-job training, but we encourage everybody that lives in District D to go vote for David Gomez. If you don't live in District D, make a call to somebody that lives in District D and tell them to go vote for David Gomez. This is Steve Sanson, Stephanie Phillips with Veterans in Politics. Don't go away, folks. We have another show.
Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, live stream on Facebook.